experience makes the Korean people keenly feel that they are blessed with the leadership of Kim Jong-il, who takes over the revolutionary cause of President Kim Il-sung. They will always remember what Kim Il-sung had to say on the continuity of leadership. I am very satisfied that Comrade Kim Jong-il is inheriting the revolutionary cause to which I have dedicated for many years. Work has never been so successful as it is now in our party's history. I have never worked in such peace of mind as now. I have no worries because Comrade Kim Jong-il is continuing my course with his high political and military qualifications. He considers it his duty to the leader and his outlook on life to realize my wishes, relieve me of my worries, and make me happy. I feel happiest in his company. Always working together for the people. His successor, Comrade Kim Jong-il, along with Kim Il-sung, has been at the helm of the successful Korean Revolution for a long time. Kim Jong-il has fully embodied in himself all the great thought and theories, the distinguished leadership and noble virtues of Kim Il-sung. In order to secure a bright future for the Korean Revolution and the Korean nation, Kim Il-sung paid great attention to the continuity of leadership for a long time. He found a brilliant solution to it to meet the aspirations of the times and the Korean people. Kim Il-sung was very satisfied that Kim Jong-il, with perfect qualities and personality, was his successor and that he was leading the party, army and nation and completing the people's Juche course brilliantly. Referring to his duty to be loyal to the leader, Kim Jong-il said, "Nobody in the world has ever dedicated all his life to the people's cause for so many years and undergone so many hardships as our leader has done. Whenever I think of the leader working restlessly for the people's happiness, I feel my eyes moisten. I rack my brains to take the load from his mind and make him happy." Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il always consulted each other and worked together for the good of the people, guiding them on the road to glory. Kim Il-sung told officials, "Comrade Kim Jong-il has an outstanding organizing ability. He organizes work down to every detail, as we can see in his preparations for the party congress and major state functions. In the past, I directed the preparations and running of the party congresses and larger meetings myself, but now Comrade Kim Jong-il does. In order to give me pleasure, he anticipates my intentions and realizes them by organizing work and directing it in detail. He completes everything before he reports to me. He makes my work easier." The Sixth Party Congress declared that the organizational and ideological foundations of our party had been built up. At the historic Sixth Party Congress, Kim Il-sung emphasized the party's most precious success as follows. The major success achieved in party work in the years we are reviewing was that solid organizational and ideological foundations were laid for carrying our revolutionary cause through to completion and for developing our party into an everlasting Chuche party. The Korean people are all eager to hold Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in high esteem. Kim Jong-il is always among the people formulating and implementing his people-oriented policy. At an election to the Supreme People's Assembly, Kim Jong-il said, "The people trusted us and re-elected us to the Supreme People's Assembly. No other people in the world are as loyal and good as our people. How worthwhile it is to work for these people. Whenever I think of them, I feel anxious to provide them with better conditions." Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il geared all policies to national prosperity and the people's well-being. This is why the people take pride in carrying out these policies. The two leaders planned the future and directed a revolution in construction. They were always intent on providing the formerly downtrodden Korean people with a richer and happier life. Kim Il-sung's words still warm our own heart. Whenever he sees me, Comrade Kim Jong-il talks about how we should improve the people's standards of living. Most of our conversations are about the people's standards of living. Comrade Kim Jong-il says that he works day and night to improve their living standards, and that when the people are more prosperous, he can sleep in peace. Whenever I see him working hard to improve the people's living standards, my heart swells with love for and trust in him. It is unlikely that anybody has a stronger sense of devotion to the people than he has. We should learn from his love for the people and his spirit of serving them. Kim Il-sung was very pleased to see the people's wishes come true. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il worked together for countless days and nights, showing great care and concern for the people. The two leaders, the leader who pioneered the revolution and his successor, have built a genuine world for the people in Korea. The historic transformation made in Korea is associated with Kim Il-sung's tireless efforts for the people and with Kim Jong-il's energetic leadership. Kim Il-sung said, "In our country, all work is being successfully carried out because Comrade Kim Jong-il leads the revolution in construction wisely. He is a man of large caliber and great drive. Under his wise leadership, any project which would have taken decades is now being conducted in a few years. Everything is done as an example for the rest of the world." Kim Jong-il's heart was always filled with a noble intention of relieving the president of his mental and physical burdens. Kim Jong-il said, "My heart feels heavy when I see the president, now in his 80s, still directing farm work in the fields. No leader in the world has ever been so devoted to the people throughout his life, undergoing all hardships as our leader. We must work harder to lighten the load on his shoulders." How many years Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il were together guiding the work of improving the people's diet, explaining how to do it, and trying to solve all problems. They regarded the production of consumer goods as an important political work and attended to all major and minor projects. Kim Jong-il was so sorry to see the president going without rest in his work for the people throughout his life that he himself even worked on holidays. He said, "I also want to have a sound sleep. But how can I sleep comfortably when you officials are worrying the leader by raising various problems? I will not mind working through hundreds of nights if only to lighten the leader's anxiety and provide the people with a happy life." When Kim Il-sung wanted to provide an ice rink and a wading pool for young people and children, Kim Jong-il had them built. Kim Il-sung told officials of state and economic establishments, "Comrade Kim Jong-il does everything to solve any problem I'm concerned with to please me. No one can equal him in solving the problems I'm concerned with for the good of the people." This shows how he is loyal to his leader and how he is devoted to the country and people. Kim Jong-il said to the officials, "I share the great leader's motto, serve the working masses and let flowers bloom even on a rock if this is the people's desire. This is my Alpha and Omega." This idea has been embodied in every aspect of the people's living, in the solution of traffic problem for one thing. He made tireless efforts to build more monumental structures in Pyongyang to celebrate Kim Il-sung's great achievements. Out of a desire to defend and develop Kim Il-sung's Chuchai Deer, he proposed building the Tower of the Chuchai Deer and guided its construction. In order to convey to posterity the president's immortal exploits in liberating the country, he made sure that the Arch of Triumph was built as a monument of the modern age. Kim Jong-il evolved a master plan for making Pyongyang more splendid and magnificent to mark the great leader's 70th birthday. He guided the construction of Changwang Street so that it was built as a brilliant example of urban construction in the 1980s and as a model in the history of city construction. He spared neither time nor energy in carrying out Kim Il-sung's intentions to make the people enjoy genuine civilization. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il wanted the new buildings to look graceful and imposing even at the time of our distant descendants. They also wanted the interiors of these buildings to cater to our people's sentiments and modern aesthetic taste. Kim Il-sung led the Korean Revolution to victory, and Kim Jong-il has developed the Juche idea on a full scale and in great depth, and is carrying forward the leader's cause. Their exploits will go down in history forever. Kim Jong-il meticulously and energetically guided a project of rebuilding a stadium to be named after Kim Il-sung from its design and its completion. He made sure the project was finished quickly. It's now shown at a stadium with Kim Il-sung. Kim Il-sung was extremely pleased with the provision of a better stadium for the people. He said that the party realized another of his ideals and that that day was a happy day for him. He said, Comrade Kim Jong-il is always the first to promptly solve any problem which I am concerned about. He considers it his outlook on life to fulfill my wishes and to please and gratify me. His loyalty is unfailing. In short, he is an incarnation of loyalty. At the opening ceremonies of monumental structures, he said with delight that he only came to cut the teeth because everything was completed under Comrade Kim Jong-il's leadership. All these monumental structures of Korea demonstrate the level of the people's creative power and civilization. Kim Il-sung said, "Our country's appearance has changed beyond recognition during recent years. Our country is now prospering under Comrade Kim Jong-il's leadership. We call such a time a golden age. I'd like to call our ever-prospering era the era of Kim Jong-il. The Korean people now regard it as happiness to live and work in Kim Il-sung's career and in the era of Kim Jong-il." This is Changwon Street. Kim Jong-il said that it was the wish of the president and he himself to provide all our people with such excellent houses as these. Expressing his pleasure at the wonderful appearance of the street, Kim Il-sung said, "A man will end up with happiness. As the Korean saying goes, pleasure follows hardship. In the past, I had to do a great deal of work to consolidate and develop our party and make the country prosperous, but I am now experiencing pleasure free from worries thanks to Comrade Kim Jong-il. It seems that I feel the greatest pleasure now that I see the people well off." Kim Il-sung's pleasure was the Korean people's pleasure. Kim Il-sung built a system of providing both urban and rural people with better housing free of charge, and Kim Jong-il is developing this system. Kim Jong-il said, regarding it as his motto that the people are my God, our leader granted the people everything he could. To our people, the great leader was their father. He took care of their food, clothes, houses, education, medical care, cultural life, and everything else. By endless field guidance, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il brought prosperity to Korea and happiness to the people. The two leaders took steps to supply better medical equipment and provide the people with full benefits of free medical service. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il always discussed what else should be done to make the whole of society intellectual and to develop the universal 11-year education system. They took concrete steps. They put forward a novel idea that the revolution is for the younger generation. They spared nothing for them. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il built up a large revolutionary force of artists and ushered in the heyday of socialist art and literature. From the early 1960s, Kim Jong-il took charge of art and literature, about which Kim Il-sung was concerned. He developed Korean literature and art into revolutionary and militant art and literature which truly served the people. Looking back on those impressive days, Kim Il-sung frequently said, Comrade Kim Jong-il defined the works I created during the anti-Japanese revolution as the prototype, the genesis of our revolutionary drama and opera. He energetically guided their adaptation into films, novels, operas, and plays. During this time, revolutionary films, revolutionary novels, Sea of Blood-style operas, and Shrine-style dramas were created, and the revolution was carried out in all fields of art and literature. In order to let the popular masses create and enjoy art, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il made sure that modern theaters were built and the artists provided with the best conditions for their creative work. Kim Il-sung pointed out that a man's revolutionary life is inconceivable without revolutionary art, and continued, according to my experience, a song is a symbol of victory in the revolution. When songs are loud, a country becomes prosperous. the revolution emerges victorious where songs are loud. Kim Il-sung sang the song Nostalgia as he imagined his hometown and motherland when he was waging the arduous anti-Japanese war after leaving his native home in Mangyongdae at the young age of 13.
내 고향을 떠나올 때 나의 어머니 문 앞에서 눈물 흘리며 잘 다녀오라고 하시던 말씀 귀에 쟁쟁 다
Climbing back to the sacred revolutionary mountain, Kim Il-sung said with deep emotion, "Whenever I climb Mount Paktor, I think of Comrade Kim Jong-il. Mount Paktor is his birthplace and the cradle where he nurtured his courage. He is a man of the Mount Paktor type. He was born with a mountain's spirit and is the mountain's symbol. Mount Paktor is Kim Jong-il's mountain at the same time as being Kim Il-sung's mountain." When he visited this revolutionary martyrs cemetery, which contains the busts of revolutionary martyrs from the anti-Japanese war, Kim Il-sung said, "It is thanks to Comrade Kim Jong-il's plan and initiative that the revolutionary martyrs cemetery was built on this marvelous site. Comrade Kim Jong-il is a very loyal leader. In terms of his loving care and respect for the first generation of the revolution and its revolutionary comrades, he is a very loyal leader." When he inspected the design of the Monument of Victory in the Fatherland Liberation War, Kim Il-sung said, "Comrade Kim Jong-il proposed building a grand monument to victory in the Fatherland Liberation War to mark the 40th anniversary of victory in the war. He stressed that the monument would give war veterans great dignity. He told me that he would have a magnificent monument built which would still be impeccable in the far future." He always takes loving care of veterans of the Fatherland Liberation War as well as veterans of the anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle. He gives them prominence and ensures that their exploits shed eternal light. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il drew Koreans living abroad to the struggle for reunifying the country, which has been divided by the U.S. imperialists. Kim Il-sung devoted heart and soul to the country's reunification. Kim Jong-il felt sorry that the president's hair turned gray with so many worries about the country's reunification. He emphasized the pressing need for Korean reunification. He said that if the divided country was handed over to the younger generation, neither nationalists in Korea nor compatriots abroad could say that they fulfilled their duty to the country and nation. With scientific insight into the swirling changes in the world situation, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il turned adversity into blessing. They led the cause of independence to victory. The world recognized Kim Il-sung as a great man for the history of his revolutionary struggle and for the exploits he performed for the modern world and the revolution. Whenever he visited foreign countries, Kim Il-sung would say, "I am going to conduct foreign affairs to the best of my ability on behalf of Comrade Kim Jong-il. All our officials must wholeheartedly support Comrade Kim Jong-il." These precious words contain his expectation that the whole party, army and people would complete the Juche Corps firmly united around Kim Jong-il. On his return from a visit abroad, he said that he could visit foreign countries without worrying because Comrade Kim Jong-il was back home. He said that the leaders of the countries he was visiting were most envious of our country because of its successful solution of the question of the revolution's successor. Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il developed the Korean People's Army into the Revolutionary Armed Forces, invincible and capable of reliably defending our socialist cause, the Juche Revolutionary Cause. Referring to the might of the Korean People's Army, Kim Il-sung said with satisfaction, "The fact that Comrade Kim Jong-il has strengthened the People's Army into a mature 400 revolutionary force shows his marvelous willpower and organizing ability. He was toughened in the crucible of the Fatherland Liberation War and learned the art of war by my side at the Supreme Headquarters Operation Table. His bright ideas and adroit strategic suggestions used to inspire me with the strength to destroy the enemy at one stroke. I am proud of having another general in our country, General Kim Jong-il." At the conference of company political instructors of the Korean People's Army, Kim Il-sung said, "I hope that all the People's Army men and officers will regard Supreme Commander Kim Jong-il's orders as my own, obey his orders strictly, and loyally follow his leadership." The soldiers pledged their loyalty to the Supreme Commander with a determination to support him with arms. Let us be guns and bombs to defend the respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-il with a do-or-die spirit. This is the inflexible determination and will of the men and officers of the Korean People's Army. Kim Jong-il enjoys boundless respect and absolute trust as the hero of the century because of the distinguished services he rendered for the party, the motherland, and people. Kim Jong-il said, "I believe that the people awarded me the title of hero as a token of their trust in me and their expectation that I will serve them with greater enthusiasm. I am determined to carry out the revolution always encouraged by the people's trust and expectations." Kim Il-sung said that our officials must wholeheartedly support Comrade Kim Jong-il and that they must unite behind him to accomplish our revolutionary cause. As Kim Il-sung wished, the Korean people will consolidate a single-hearted unity of the party, people, and army centering on Kim Jong-il. The people are in the minds of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and vice versa. Nothing in the world can break the single-hearted unity of the leader, party, and people in Korea. As fatherly leader Kim Il-sung wished it, the Korean people will achieve national reunification and accomplish the Juche revolutionary course under the guidance of the great leader Kim Jong-il.